Have you noticed that your cat has been quieter than usual lately? That little furball who used to run around the house, meowing, jumping on everything, suddenly seems more reserved, sleeping more, barely making a sound, and even acting a bit distant. Take a deep breath. Don't worry. Today, we're going to talk clearly and directly about what might be going on when your cat starts behaving like this. And listen, it's really important that you stick with me until the end of this video because some of these reasons might seem harmless, but others are warning signs that you absolutely shouldn't ignore. And hey, before we dive in, take a quick moment to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss any content about feline behavior, health, and fun cat facts. Oh, and at the end of the video, don't forget to drop a comment sharing if your cat has ever gone through a behavioral change like this and how you handled it. Your story could really help someone else going through the same thing. Alright, now let's get into what really matters. When a cat becomes quieter than usual, it can mean a lot of different things, and it all depends on the context. There's never just one explanation, and that's why it's so important to really pay attention to your cat's behavior. First of all, sudden behavioral changes in cats never happen for no reason, ever. Cats are absolute masters at hiding discomfort or illness, and that's something every cat parent needs to understand. In the wild, showing weakness makes them vulnerable to predators, and even indoors, that instinct still exists. So when your cat starts acting differently, withdrawing, sleeping more, avoiding interaction, getting quieter, it's because something is going on. It could be emotional, physical, or even something in their environment. And in many cases, it's a mix of all three. Let's start with the emotional side, which a lot of people still overlook. Cats form strong bonds with their humans. They love routine, and they feel safe when everything is predictable. Changes like a new pet, a new baby, moving to a new home, or even just rearranging furniture can confuse and stress out your cat. Believe it or not, even your mood or being away from home more than usual can affect how your cat feels and behaves. Now, if you haven't noticed any emotional or environmental changes, then we have to consider the possibility of pain or illness. And here's the key point. A sick cat won't always show the signs you'd expect. They might not cry, limp, or stop eating right away. What do they do instead? They go quiet, they hide. They sleep more, they avoid contact. That's their way of trying to self-heal. But of course, that only masks the problem. Common health issues like urinary infections, inflammation, dental pain, kidney problems, or even something more serious like a neurological condition can all begin with this subtle shift. A once curious cat suddenly just wants to be left alone. So if you notice this and it lasts more than 24 to 48 hours, don't wait. Take your cat to the vet. And then there's the environmental factor, often tied to boredom and lack of stimulation. Cats that live in dull environments without toys, climbing spots, shelves, or windows to look out of can become passive. They fall into a kind of apathy where their body may be fine, but their mind is bored, frustrated, or even depressed. Yes, cats can get depressed, and that's something that needs to be taken seriously, just like physical illness. So, the main message here is, watch your cat closely. Watch the little things. Small behavioral changes might be revealing something much bigger. Their silence might actually be a cry for help, and you, as their human, are the first one who can notice and do something about it. For example, think about this. Has anything changed recently in your household routine? Maybe someone came over to visit and stayed for a few days. There's construction happening nearby, a new pet arrived, or even something as simple as moving furniture around. Even subtle changes, like you leaving home at different times, coming back later, traveling, or working more behind closed doors and interacting less with your cat, can all have a big impact. Things that may seem small to us can feel huge. For a cat, cats are extremely sensitive to any change in their environment. They thrive on routine, stability, and predictability. Their world revolves around what's familiar and safe. So when something shifts, even if it's something we see as positive, the cat may feel stressed, confused, or even threatened. And one of the most common reactions, they withdraw, they go quiet. They sleep more, they watch from a distance. That's how they cope until they feel secure again. But let's say you've thought about it and nothing has changed in your environment. Yet your cat is still quieter than usual, more distant, less active. That's when it's time to consider a physical issue. Remember, cats don't show pain the way dogs do. They won't cry out or limp dramatically. Sometimes the only sign something's wrong is that sudden silence. That withdrawal. And here's the important part. A lot of health problems start with very subtle signs. Dental issues like inflammation or tooth pain can cause a cat to eat less and avoid touch, because even petting can become uncomfortable. Joint pain, common in older cats or overweight cats, makes them move less, avoid jumping, and lie down most of the day. Urinary infections cause pain when peeing, discomfort, and even mood changes, leading the cat to become more irritable or withdrawn. And of course, there are more serious conditions like kidney disease, diabetes, liver issues, or viral diseases like FIV feline immunodeficiency virus or FELV feline leukemia. All of these can begin with just one noticeable sign. A cat that used to be active, curious, and affectionate suddenly becomes quiet, introspective, and distant. That's why this kind of change should never be ignored. The sooner you notice that something's not right, the better the chances of treating it effectively, with less suffering for your cat and, let's be honest, lower costs for you as well. Sometimes, a simple routine checkup at the vet is all it takes to catch a problem before it becomes serious. And here's the thing, you can't just wait for the obvious symptoms. A lot of people only start to worrying when their cat shows signs like a fever, vomiting, diarrhea, or crying out in pain. But in most cases, those louder signs only show up when the problem is already more advanced. What comes before that? Often, just a subtle silence, a shift in behavior. A cat who used to greet you at the door now barely lifts their head. A playful, curious cat who suddenly has no interest in toys. A cat who always curled up in your bed now hides under the couch. That's the kind of change you can't afford to ignore, especially if it happens suddenly. If your cat used to be active, social, and full of energy, and now seems uninterested in playing, eating, or interacting, that's a red flag. It might seem minor, like just a mood, but more often than not, it's your cat's body quietly asking for help. And here's something most people don't talk about, but it's just as important as physical health: your cat's mental health. Yes, cats can absolutely suffer from stress, anxiety, and even depression. And it happens way more often than most people realize. Unfortunately, because of lack of awareness, these signs are often brushed off as laziness or just being a cat. Cats who live in environments with little stimulation, a boring routine, or too much alone time can slip into a state of deep apathy. And this isn't just about not playing. It can lead to a cat that isolates themselves more and more, sleeps excessively, avoids eye contact, and in more serious cases, even stops grooming. And let me tell you, when a cat stops grooming, that's a major red flag. Grooming is an instinctive, natural behavior for cats, and when they stop, it usually means they're not okay, physically or emotionally. Boredom, lack of mental stimulation, and too much isolation can absolutely push a cat into a depressive state. And that's not something they can just snap out of. They need help, starting with a richer, more stimulating environment. Things like toys, shelves to climb, hiding spots, hunting-style play with wand toys or lasers, and most importantly, quality time and interaction with you. In some cases, even a consultation with a feline behaviorist or vet might be necessary. So, if your cat seems quieter, more withdrawn, less interested in grooming or engaging, take it seriously. This change in behavior might be the first and only sign that something needs to change, whether it's about their health, their surroundings, or the routine they're living in. And the sooner you notice it, the easier it'll be to give your furry friend their happiness and well-being back. Here's something a lot of people don't really think about, but is absolutely crucial for your cat's well-being. How is your playtime and interaction routine with your cat? Are you truly dedicating time every day to stimulate your felines? Mind and body, cats are natural hunters, and even indoor cats need challenges, toys, places to explore, and chances to burn off energy. Without that, they can get bored, which often shows up as apathy, isolation, and, you guessed it, becoming quieter and more switched off, almost like they're slowly disconnecting from the world around them. Think about it. How many times a day do you really play with your cat? How many different toys does your cat have? Are you providing environmental enrichment that keeps their brain active, like shells to climb on, toys that move or make noise, or boxes to explore? And what about human contact? Cats might be independent, but they also love quality affection. A little chat, or just attentive company. That daily interaction makes a huge difference in their emotional and physical health. Now, if you've already noticed your cat is quieter, showing less interest than before, and this change lasts more than 24 to 48 hours, it's time to take action. Don't wait days thinking it's just a phase or that your cat will snap out of it on their own. Often, waiting only makes things worse and delays a diagnosis that could have been simple and effective if caught early. The best thing to do is take your cat to the vet for a thorough checkup. The vet will run exams, observe subtle signs, and help figure out if there's a physical cause, pain, or even an emotional issue at play. The sooner you identify what's going on, the better the chances of treating it without complications, and making sure your cat gets back to being that active, happy, energetic companion you know and love. Plus, the vet can also advise on environmental changes, diet, supplements, or even behavioral therapies if needed. Never underestimate the importance of caring for your cat's mental and physical health as a whole. They deserve all that care, and you'll benefit too with a closer, happier bond. Now, if your cat has already been checked by the vet and is healthy, with no physical problems detected, it might be time to invest in a richer, more stimulating routine for them. After all, cats are intelligent, curious, and full of energy. Even the calmer ones, when their life becomes monotonous, with no new experiences or challenges, it can directly affect their behavior and mood, causing them to become quieter, less interested, and even apathetic. That's why creating a more stimulating environment makes a huge difference. Scratching posts are great for letting them burn off energy, take care of their claws, and have a space of their own to express themselves. Hiding spots like boxes, tunnels, and shelves give them a sense of security and allow them to explore without fear. Interactive toys that challenge their mind and body, like wand toys, catnip balls, and even laser pointers, bring the fun of simulated hunting, which is a natural and essential instinct for their well-being. And don't forget about safe windowsills where they can watch the street, birds, and people. This mental entertainment truly makes a difference. Of course, it's important to adapt this stimulation routine to your cat's personality. Some cats prefer to play more in the morning, others like short sessions several times a day. Observing what your cat likes and respecting their pace is key to keeping them motivated and happy. Now, speaking specifically about older cats, it's worth noting that behavioral changes can also be related to natural aging. Senior cats tend to be naturally calmer, sleep more, and may lose interest in running around or playing as they did when younger. This is normal, but it shouldn't lead to neglect. Regular vet checkups are essential to ensure that this increased calmness isn't due to emerging health issues such as joint problems, kidney disease, or neurological conditions. Additionally, aging can affect cats' cognition, causing what is known as feline cognitive dysfunction syndrome, similar to dementia in humans. In these cases, cats may become confused, disoriented, or show changes in sleep patterns, and this requires special attention and care. So, whether for young or senior cats, enriching their environment and ensuring they have appropriate physical and mental stimulation is essential to maintaining quality of life, health, and well-being. And this will definitely reflect in a happier, more active, and more present cat in your life. So to sum it up with you, a quieter cat might be reacting to their environment, feeling pain, going through stress, boredom, or even aging. The important thing is not to ignore it. Observe, interact, stimulate, and if you have any doubts, seek professional help. Your cat's health and well-being depend on you paying attention to the little signs. And hey, if this video helped you in any way, don't forget to leave a like because it really helps the channel grow and reach more cat owners who need this information. Also, subscribe if you haven't yet and hit the notification bell to get the next videos coming your way. There's a lot of great content on the way. And now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever gone through a similar situation with your cat? Share your story in the comments. I really want to know your experience and exchange stories with you. Thank you so much for watching until the end and see you in the next video. Meow.